Hey everybody, this is Hopeless Lover, and I wanted to let y'all know that I got myself a new mic. Hooray! Yay! And since I got a new mic, I guess I should say the reason I got myself a new mic is because, I'm gonna try to, play Fallout 76 and, record and play along, and y'all can watch me fail and, succeed, and, maybe we'll catch some stuff that, may surprise you or whatever. Kind of like whenever, in Spider-Man, that I think I still have the picture. I webbed like a guy to a helicopter, which is pretty tough. You gotta have pretty good timing and stuff. I mean, technically it was almost like a freak accident kind of thing, but it was still pretty good. And but yeah, the reason I'm making this video is that I'm testing my new mic out, and I'm checking the sound quality. It feels good. I can almost hear myself talking, I think. I mean, unlike the last microphone I had, where basically it just sounded like, I don't know, like if I was talking into a VHS recorder or something. Anyway, so I guess I'm gonna try to go to bed in a little bit and get up around maybe 12 or something. That way I can play Fallout hopefully 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that'll give me a good solid 4 hours of playtime. Yeah, I mean, even if it is 2 p.m., I mean, that would give me 3 hours at least. I mean, I would probably get some exploring done, maybe find a weapon or two. I really hope this game's gonna kick ass. I haven't watched any gameplay footage because I don't want to be, I don't want to, spoil anything. I like to go in, pretty much fresh and everything. Granted, whenever the game was first announced, I, was all over everything, like, oh my god, I gotta see some gameplay footage. What is in this game? Why is it different from Fallout 4? I mean, so far the world is very much reminiscent to, Fallout 4. And, it's not a bad thing, it's very beautiful, I just hope that, the fact that there's no NPCs, and, the fact that it's, like, full of, online players, that they're not gonna be dicks and stuff like that, and, fuck with you, and, I'm hoping they're, like, okay, like, I'm hoping there isn't people, like, in the beta that can, take their saved equipment or whatever and carry it on over to the game when it comes out, because that's gonna suck for the rest of us that have to work for a living, bastards. I mean, I would love to just play video games for a living. I don't know, like, how people do that. I mean, I guess maybe they get sponsors and they load their videos with ads and shit. I mean, I don't know. To me, like, I mean, I'm just doing this so that, I can, it's basically for fun, I just want to, sit here like a mad person talking to myself, hoping that someone's listening. It's sort of like, I mean, I don't know, I don't like saying it like that, but it is very similar, it's like talking to God, basically. I'm sitting here talking to myself and hoping that that was a word, hoping. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, I'm hoping that that somebody is listening. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say, except for, I'm sure most of y'all have seen gameplay footage, watched, famous, YouTubers play, the game. honestly, you know, I haven't come across any, you know, gamer or YouTube gamers that I really like. You know, most of them, they're always trying to scream in the mic or like act stupid. You know, they just basically overreact to everything. And while some people find that funny, I don't. I like somebody who, like me, you know, that just provides like a simple, pleasant commentary, you know, and maybe you'll get a chuckle out of me getting pissed off or something, you know, like whenever, you know, shit happens and I'm like, motherfucker, why is that there, you know, and, you know, where the fuck did that thing come from, you know? I was thinking at work, it'd be funny if, like, say, like with the Mothman, like, or maybe there was like some creatures or something, you know, like in Aliens or something, and it reminded me of that scene when it'd be funny like if I was with like say like a group of people, kind of like the Marines, and you know, we were being chased by like a horde of like ghouls or I don't know, some sort of new creature or something. And that scene when I think it's Hicks, he like, you know, runs and, you know, he's like gets inside the, you know, the Humvee thing, like the futuristic tank, or I don't know what you call it, but I guess you'd call it a troop transport. But anyway, yeah, like, you know, he's grabbing on that one chick, you know, the Hispanic chick, and he's like, you know, forget it, he's gone! And then, you know, he's like closing the door, and like, you know, the alien grabs it, and he's like, seal the goddamn door! And he's like, you know, trying to close it, and, you know, fucking Hudson, you know, puts the shotgun in, you know, the alien's mouth, or, well, no, I think Hudson was closing it, and Hicks, he pulls out the shotgun, and he's like, eat this! And blows its fucking brains out, and it sprays, you know, Hudson, and he's like, ah! And, you know, he's like, Floor Ripley! But yeah, that movie is hilarious, you know, I mean, it is probably one of the greatest movies of all time, you know, the fact that, you know, it's interesting, it's hilarious, without being ridiculous, you know, it has like everything, you know, it has a strong female character without her being, you know, like overly ridiculously strong for no reason. You know, Ripley was just this loader, and, you know, she got, you know, better and better through, you know, just, you know, like being around the Marines, you know, because if you think about, or, well, and also, I guess, running into one of those bastards in the first movie. And, you know, a lot of y'all are probably thinking, you know, what the hell are you talking about? Why are you talking about a strong female character? And, you know, for me, you know, like, I don't know, God, I get so pissed off thinking about fucking Rey from the new Star Wars. I mean, I just wish her character would die already. I mean, you know, I hate her character. I just hate it. I hate it. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like if, hell, I can't even think of anything, because I really don't watch a whole lot of bad movies, and I don't know. Just basically, it's a main character with no interesting attributes. She's not good looking. She's not, you know, or, well, she's talented, but, you know, for no good reason. Just basically, she's talented for the sake of being talented. I mean, it's like, you know, she didn't get trained to be a Jedi, but yet she's pretty much the only Jedi and the strongest, you know. I mean, I guess if you're the only Jedi, you'd be the strongest, but, I mean, she's shown that she's, like, almost at the same level that Anakin was at, you know. I mean, I don't know too much about Anakin's past. I didn't watch any of the Clone Wars cartoons, you know. It just wasn't my thing. You know, I very much support the prequels. I love them. You know, I don't like Count Dooku. I think he's He's kind of a douche. Although, I will say this. I see him in a different light now. Now that I know that he was trying to stop Darth Sidious. I know some of y'all are probably thinking, well, he was working with Darth Sidious, and, he, wanted to, I guess, like, what do you call it? He wanted the Sith to take over, the galaxy, but that's not true. See, what I think what happened was, and he says in episode 2 that he splintered off, and I think he took control of the Trade Federation, and that was his thing. He was trying to become maybe like a Sith Lord, and his apprentice was General Grievous. He had his own little Padawan thing, and what's his name? What is his name? Palpatine. He was for the Republic, and I guess he felt that he probably felt that he could sway everybody into joining him, and fighting the separatists and stuff like that. I mean, I don't have all the facts, but in episode 2, Count Dooku tells Obi-Wan that the Sith is taking control of the Republic, and he's like, I don't believe you. And he's like, yeah, he's like, that's why I left the Jedi and everything. And he's like, if Qui-Gon was still alive, and he's like, I miss him and everything, and he's like, he would have joined me. And he's like, Qui-Gon would never have joined you. But you know what? I think Qui-Gon might have. Qui-Gon, he was kind of cool. Like he was kind of like what I would be if I was like a Jedi. I mean, sorta. I don't like his style or whatever, but I do approve of his views on like the Jedi and everything. He's very open-minded. He dabbles in both the light side and the dark side, and if you notice, he was never on the Jedi Council, and that's because the Jedi Council were they're sort of like Catholic priests. They take things to the extreme. They think they can't be married and stuff like that, because it leads to attachment and all that other BS. But Qui-Gon, I'm sure he was probably nailing some broad on the side or whatever, and and like whenever he was talking to Yoda in the first movie, you could tell that they had like a little bit of a beef, and Mace Windu was like, no, he's like, this boy will not be trained, and he was like, you know what? He's like, fuck you. You know what? I'm gonna train the boy, and they're all like, that's impossible. You already have a Padawan. And, he's like, Obi-Wan's ready. He's got it. And he's like, I am ready. And he was ready to get the fuck out of there, I guess, because, I don't know, Obi-Wan, I like him, but I get the feeling that he's a little bit too much of a goody two-shoes, and he's blinded by his, Jedi morals or whatever. I don't understand how he got so brainwashed by the Jedi. I mean, I don't know. To me, if you're a, I don't know, like a, I can't think of the word, like a soldier or part of some group or whatever, it's best not to, follow orders blindly, question things, try to think for yourself, don't just, be like, yes, 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 like a freaking zombie or a robot or something, because eventually you're gonna be like, oh, I can't do that, that's wrong, and someone might be like, why? And you'll just be like, I don't know, that's what I was taught. So basically, you could be a bad guy, and you'd be like, and people will be like, why are you doing that? And you'd be like, I don't know, that's what I was taught. But yeah, I don't know. I just have so many different views on, things like Star Wars and stuff. Like, For instance, like I said, originally I didn't like Count Dooku just because I don't like the actor. I didn't like, anything about his style. I didn't like his lightsaber. I didn't like his name. His name is stupid sounding. Count Dooku. Both those are terrible. It's almost like, he was a fan of Dracula and he had like a terrible name. Like probably, in school people or like Jedi school or something, they were probably like, yeah, it's Count Dookie. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I really I don't know what Count Dooku's plans were. Like, say if the Separatists had, succeeded in the war. I mean, would they just have taxed the hell out of people or something? Or, I mean, I guess that's what the whole Clone Wars thing was about. Was just maybe, I mean, because they weren't trying to. I don't think they were trying to rule the galaxy like the Empire. I mean, they had a very different point of view. Like, I mean, that'd be a good video. I wish I knew, more about computer editing or, like computer software stuff, to where I could make like a good, video with pictures and stuff like that. So that, like I could like put it all together, storyboard it, But I don't know. It's hard to say, because whenever the like in episode 1 they had blockades everywhere, and I guess maybe like it was kind of like having toll booths everywhere, and people were just like, no, I'm tired of this shit, you're taxing the hell out of us, we can't afford to fucking go through 15 of these bitches on the way to Alderaan. Although, how the hell would that even work? I mean, space is three-dimensional, and, you could fucking fly, like, in a circle or something around it, or, I mean, unless they just, no, I mean, there's no possible way, unless they just built a force field around a planet, and, like, they, were like, oh, you want in? Yeah, that's, 200 credits, and you have to pay it or some shit. Trying to remember like what the hell they were trying to get Queen Amidala to do. They wanted her to sign a contract or some shit. I mean, honestly, like in the whole movie, like you're not even thinking about what they want them to do. Like you're just kind of drawn to Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and I guess maybe a little interested in Anakin's childhood, I guess, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I mean, I still don't get that. Like, what are they trying? I mean, I guess the only valuable, information that we learn about Anakin from episode 1 is that he is like, kind of like Force Jesus, He didn't really have a physical father. He was made up of like pure energy, pure midi-chlorians. I mean, you'd think that like as a kid or something, like he'd be like making Rey look like a bitch or something, like he would be like fucking throwing together the ultimate pod racer just with his hands, and he would probably crush Sebulba with like just a thought or something, and shit like that, like, walk up to a Sebulba and, he'd be all like speaking his weird alien gibberish, and, he'd probably start force choking him, and, he'd be like, make sure you don't choke on your own aspirations or some shit. And then Qui-Gon would be like, hey, cut that out, stop force choking people. That's not how the Jedi do things. We just either take them in as prisoners, or well, I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, they're not supposed to kill unless it's like unnecessary, or well, like like it's what do you call it? Like it's either you or them. I can't think of the word for it. You know, like it's absolutely necessary, I guess. You know, like self-defense or something. And I guess, you know, whenever Obi-Wan fought General Grievous, that, yeah, I guess he had to kill him, you know. And I mean, honestly, like, how the fuck did, you know, Obi-Wan have so much trouble with General Grievous? I mean, it seemed like maybe he just kind of let him go or whatever and was toying with him. I mean, I guess it's just a movie, but, you know, at some point you gotta think, you know, a little realistically, you know. I mean, you know, fuck the whole little speeder donut chase thing or whatever, where they're like wrestling on a donut and he's like trying to shock him with the staff and stuff, and then he pulls a pistol out from the side compartment and they fire it in the air for a little bit, and I don't know, yeah, I think he chased him down on the lizard, I think. But yeah, that whole scene was ridiculous, you know. I mean, it should have been like, you know, the whole thing should have been like, you know, what's his name, Obi-Wan jumping down and doing his thing where he's like completely fearless, you know, even though he's surrounded by battle droids, droidicas, and God knows what else. I guess he's just like, General Grievous, he's pretty evil, but, you know, I'm pretty sure he won't, you know, make them, I'm pretty sure he's pretty cocky, and he's not gonna, you know, make his soldiers attack me, you know, he's gonna want to do it himself. I mean, there's a 50-50 shot there, but, you know, from my experience with Darth Maul, you know, bad guys, they tend to get a little cocky, so, you know, I'm gonna roll the dice and we're gonna go for it. So, you know, he jumps down and, you know, he actually sticks those two stick droid things that are, I guess, the droid version of the Red Knights that Palpatine has. I mean, honestly, I don't get it. I mean, they seem pretty worthless. I mean, they weren't very skilled, and, you know, he killed them like in a second by smashing them, and it's a good thing there wasn't one of those over, you know, General Grievous, because, you know, he probably would have pulled it down on him. Come to think of it, I guess General Grievous was, so, he was just pretty much like a pair of lungs, a heart, and possibly a brain. I mean, you never see his brain. I mean, I assume he has one. I mean, I don't think he's a machine, even though he's like 90% machine, maybe more, 95, something like that. But anyway, I don't know, forgot what I was going on about. Oh yeah, but, you know, instead of that stupid chase fight, you know, they should have just pretty much, like, you know, whenever, like, you know, he was like, I was trained in their Jedi arts by Count Dooku, and he pulls out his 4 lightsabers. You know, they should have had Obi-Wan be like, oh my god, and just bust out laughing, and he's like, what are you laughing at? And he's like, you know, Count Dooku. You think, you know, you're gonna beat me because you were trained by Count Dooku? Oh my god. I mean, you know, that guy was, I mean, even though he pretty much beat, you know, Obi-Wan, well, but that was just because, you know, they wanted Anakin to, you know, have like a little dark side moment to where, like, I guess he gets some revenge or something for his arm being cut off. I mean, honestly, Obi-Wan, you know, he kicked General Grievous's ass, and, you know, General Grievous to me was probably more skilled than Count Dooku. I mean, I don't know, that's kind of tough to say. I mean, they're very different. I don't know who would win in a fight, honestly, against Count Dooku and General Grievous. I mean, yeah, he had 4 lightsabers, but, I mean, he kind of sucked with them. I mean, and you think about it, that's what Count Dooku taught him. He taught him to take 4 of them, use 2 in the back for nothing, and helicopter spin 2 in the front, so that way I guess, nothing can get to you, and, I don't know, eventually you'll slowly, run into your enemy. I mean, that only seems like it'd be a good strategy in, like, narrow areas, because otherwise you could just, like, I don't know, try to run around and get behind him or something, or, I don't know. Well, actually, you could just freaking force push him or something, or, I wonder why no one's ever, like, because I've thought about that, like, if you had, like, say, a spare lightsaber, you could, like, kind of fight and, like, use the force with your other hand, and, kind of use the lightsaber to, like, kind of attack them from behind or something, like, say, like, you lose your lightsaber in a fight, and then, like, you pull out your spare one or something and start fighting them, and then you, like, use the force and, like, and spin it, and it, like, stabs them in the back, and they're like, ugh. I mean, I guess, you kind of would have them trapped, because, if they dodge the saber coming from their back, you have control over that other one, so it's not like you're lunging it at them, you're controlling it, and so it's not going to hit you, and, and you could do kind of like how Obi-Wan did to Anakin when he cut off his, like, arm and legs, so, basically if they dodge, you get them, and if they don't see it coming, you get them. Brilliant. Or, like, have any of y'all ever played, I think it was like Knights of the Old Republic 2? Basically, there's this, old blind lady, spoiler alert, she turns out to be the bad guy, and, you fight her at the end, she's the final boss, and, she, it seems like somebody had a mind, like, because honestly, the Knights of the Old Republic 2 was a pretty good game, for its time, and even though, like, you kind of start off, and it's a weird game, it's almost like Final Fantasy, but Star Wars, because, like, I think it's, like, kind of a turn-based striking thing, and, I don't know, it's different, but, I don't know, you kind of get used to it. But, anyway, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, you fight the old lady at the end. She's blind, but she's like a Sith or something, and she has, like, these 4 purple lightsabers, or no, it's like 3 purple lightsabers, and she doesn't wield any of them with her hands. She just kind of, like, does, like, prayer hands or something like that, and, like, she uses the Force to control 3 of them, like, and they just kind of spin around her, so that way, like, she has a lightsaber protecting her from all sides, and it's a good strategy, I mean, granted, somehow you end up kicking her ass, I don't remember how, but, yeah, it doesn't work out for her. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough, ranted and whatnot. I was just pretty much testing my mic, so anyway, I hopefully tomorrow y'all get to see me play a little bit of Fallout 76 beta edition, whatever, beta test, something like that. Anyway, I'll see you guys later on. Peace out.